And get this started. This is the J&J Show. I'm Jeff.
And I'm John.
And we are the J&J Show. We're sponsored by Milton Industries. Milton is better air and beyond. And Milton is always innovating. And right now in Milton, when we say they're always innovating, they're buying these different companies. And of course, you all seen the Z line by Milton with all the oil drain tanks, all of the battery powered grease guns. That thing is really
neat. That is
nice.
Yeah.
And LTI, we're starting to show some of the LTI with the Shaka technology. And Promax Tools has just come under the umbrella of Milton Industries.
We've got a whole stack of that LTI tools right here that came in. That's cool.
And we're just waiting on the Texas Twister. So for those of you listening that are at Vision or going to Vision this week, be sure and stop by booth 424. This week's specialist will be presenting productivity enhancing solutions to technicians at Vision, the high-tech training and expo. If you would like to learn more about Promax, now Promax Tools is the new deal, and y'all might have seen them in the past where if you have broken bolts on the exhaust manifolds, you can take those and then you put the
a template.
That
right? Way you're centered up perfect every time.
And then you just drill it out so you're not wallering out the holes. Mm-hmm. And then you can retap and everything. And so if you want to learn more about Promax Tools, visit Promax, that's with 2 X's, promaxtool.com. And that's thanks to our sponsor, Milton Industries. Because we're talking about tonight about coaching, about marketing and all that. I really wanted you guys to meet John Starkey. I've been connected with him for a while, and we finally met in person. And let me tell you, this guy his hospitality is beyond belief. Just one of the nicest guys. And if you go to Hawaii, you know, you got to
come by.
It's been like, since he's come back, it's like John this, John that. And I'm thinking, I didn't do that. And no, not you. It's John Starkey. He's this and he's that. And I'm thinking, wow, I want to be like this guy. He's awesome.
You already why did he leave
not as awesome as John.
If you come to Texas,
why did he leave you, John? Why didn't he bring you?
If you come to I tried to. If you come to Texas, John will reciprocate just like you did, except he's going to take you to Texas barbecue and he's going to take you on the airboat and shooting pigs. And John I wanted him there so bad because you guys are so much alike. And I kept telling him, man, you needed to be there. But the big deal I was excited on John is John's been in the business 6 years. You guys hear me now, 6 years. And he pretty much started from scrap. He wasn't in the automotive industry, and he was flipping cars and had to get a shop. And 6 years ago, John purchased the shop. And in 6 years, he's the largest independent shop on Oahu. He's a Napa Car Care Center. And he did... last year, 3 million. Is that right, John?
3 million.
3 million. And so we had a talk, and you guys go on my YouTube and you'll see the interview we had with him. But I wanted him to share it because we're talking about how do you know if you need a coach? How do you know if you need marketing help? How do you know? And John's deal was he shared with me that he didn't know what he didn't know, but he didn't know that he needed this. And his Napa guys said, hey, why don't you hook up with this system called Drive? They're coaching or consulting, and he's in Hawaii. They're on the mainland in California. So tell us a little bit about that. And then he started talking about, we talk about Tekmetric. We talk about all, what's Amber's deal?
Auto Leak
and Auto Vitals and all these different systems.
Shopware.
And John will tell you about, he goes out surfing every day and he can pull up his phone and look at his numbers. And Rick will tell you, you got to know your numbers. You know your numbers, you know your numbers. So we're so glad Rick's on here. And Rick's going to talk a little bit about that. But let's let John share his story. So tell us about Drive and then how you got on Tekmetric.
Yeah, well, I'll back up a little bit. So yeah, you're right. I'm from the dealer's side. So I was a finance manager. I was a salesman. For a short time, I managed a dealership. Doesn't mean I knew anything about cars. It just means I know values. I was a buyer. I didn't know all the parts of the car. I was kind of lost, but I was flipping a lot of cars. I flipped 100 cars my 1 year before I bought this. And my neighbor ratted me out to the state that I was running a business out of my house. They gave me a 15-day cease and desist order. And I got to make $7,000 a month to support my kids, my wife, and my ex-wife. So I was kind of panicked. I told all my friends how, what a world of hurt I was in. And one of them said, hey, I know a guy, you might be able to rent a bay from him. So I came over and talked to him. I had no interest at all in buying a repair shop. And anyway, flash forward, and he wanted to get out really bad. So I did buy it, but I didn't buy it to run a repair shop. I bought it to flip cars out of. So I had one mechanic. He was going to fix the cars, and I was going to sell them. And that was how we were going to make ends meet. Well, then my friends who own repair shop or dealerships out here, small dealerships, came to me and said, hey, can you fix our cars? And I said, yeah, okay. And so we started doing that. And then I landed, by just sheer luck, the 15th largest dealership in the nation, because they're a bunch of white boys from Portland, and I'm a white boy living in Hawaii, which is predominantly Polynesian and mixed Asian, So I hit off pretty good with them, and we went from 30,000 to 130,000, and I was completely terrified. That sounds great. It sounds like a good opportunity. Everybody wants to break 1 million, and here I am breaking 1 million and plus some, without knowing what I'm doing. I have no accounting in place. I wasn't even paying taxes because I was buying equipment, because I bought this place with $5,000 of my own money. So I was using the IRS's and the state's money to build my business. And then, of course, they came knocking, eventually not knocking, but, the letters started coming, and it got really, really scary. And I was losing technicians because I didn't know how to hire technicians, because I didn't know what a technician was even supposed to know, because I'm not a technician. So anyway, I told my Napa rep, hey, man, I'm in a world of hurt. I'm completely confused. I have a lot of revenue, a ton of money coming in, but I don't know how to allocate the money. I don't know how much to pay people. I don't know how to keep people, and I don't know how to hire people. Basically, I know nothing about running a repair shop like what you guys do. So they told me, well, these guys are coming from California. You might want to sit down, at least hear them out. So it was a rep from Drive, which is a coaching company. There's a couple others out there that you guys have probably heard of. And the guy basically said everything I wanted to hear. And I said, okay, so they were having a conference. So I went to their conference. It was actually in California, which is where I'm from. I've been out here 20 years. I came out here to surf. And so anyway, I went and I sat in the conference, and I was late. And when I got there, the guy who sat next to me, he was also late. And he was a young guy, I'm not young. He's younger than me, a little bit younger than me. And he's had his shop for 25 years. I'm 54. He's had his shop for 25 years. And he says, and I started talking to him, and I was talking to him about what we're going to experience here, because I didn't know what I was getting into. And he goes, I tell you what, John, he goes, I've had 3 different companies coach me, and this is my 4th, and I wouldn't change anything in my business. And he went on to tell me about how understanding how to run a business has changed his life. He doesn't really work in the shop anymore. He's had a good life, lost a bunch of money in a divorce like so many, but he's got a good life, and I thought, well, if he's got a good life, maybe I could have a good life someday, because I was working 16 hours a day, and just doing everything. And I think I'm the best student they probably have, because I didn't know anything. So when you don't know anything, you're like a 3-year-old learning English, you absorb it all, because there's no clutter in there to tell them or you that that's not right. Like, they tell me to do this. They tell me to raise my rate by $30 an hour. I'm like, okay, I don't know, I guess that's fine. So, you just do what they tell you to do. And next thing I know, it's like, oh, now I have some money in the bank, So I kept doing everything that they taught me. And now I really don't work in the business anymore. I mean, like Jeff was laughing about, I do surf every day. I surf, and I do something called foiling, which you can go on Google and put in tow, the word TOW, foiling. And we use jet skis. We whip each other into waves. I tow surf. We surf waves, up to 60 feet out here in Hawaii. That's my passion. That's what I love to do. And when the waves suck and everything else is good conditions, I go fishing I take my ski out and I go fishing. So I have a great crew. I have a manager. I have 15 employees. I usually get here around noon. I take a short nap and then I start to work and do what I got to do, which, you know, a lot of people don't understand that what a business owner is supposed to do. It has to be done regardless of what's going on in the business. And if you're a technician, you're a service advisor, you're a whatever, and you're ignoring what you're supposed to be doing as a business owner, which is setting up the future of the shop. What is the shop's vision? What is it? Like, I love what Eric just presented. In fact, I'm going to go look at that and I'll probably roll that out too, because everything I do to my shop is to improve time. Time is what we build. We build time, we build parts. So if I can take steps out and save time, I'm all in all the time. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it costs. I'm willing to change my entire approach to this business if it means I can become more efficient and I can make more money. I consistently run it over 100% tech efficiency. We've been as high as 140. Last week, we were sitting at 112, which is fairly low for us. I know I have to hire a loop tech, possibly 2, so I could free up my C techs so I can get more build hours out of them. We are a very, very busy shop. I was just looking at what we have. We have currently 103 cars in the shop right now. I have about 70 parking stalls. 20 of them are on site. I have 13 lifts. 10 are installed. 3 are waiting to be installed. We're a 10,000 square foot shop right in the center of Honolulu. We're in a city of about 700, 800,000 people. I do a lot of work with dealers. I do a lot of work with fleets. I just hired a field rep to get more fleet business. I do a radio show. It's basically a car talk radio. I sponsor events through the radio. We do every once in a while give away cars. We give away gifts. We do what we can. I sponsor the Cub Scouts. You know, I do things that are really fun. I'm a den leader for my son's Cub Scout group. You know, and I do what I want to do every day. I don't do what I'm told to do every day. That's why you own a business, so you don't have to do all that. And what else, Jeff?
John, that was so great. Awesome.
It was great having Jeff out here. We had fun out here. Jeff and I had fun. Right. It was the middle of the week. We went and we checked out the waterfalls because it was raining and windy, and we had a really good time. He spent a bunch of time talking to my staff, talking to my daughter, who's 21. And, you know, I want her to start a business, a shop with her son or her husband and her child when they get a little bit older. And I was telling Jeff that, and he spent about, what did you spend 3 hours with my daughter going over all the training out there, stuff that's free, stuff that, you know, I would never even know about, because you'd say, well, why don't you just give this business to your daughter? Nobody gets anything because they have my last name. This business is going to be bought by my manager, who's been here almost since the beginning when I opened. He has first right of refusal. And I said, look, I'm going to build a lifestyle that you're going to watch me live, that you're going to be living in 14 more years. Because 68, I'm punching the clock and I'm out of here. I don't care how much I'm making. We're trying to build it up to $1 million a month, I think is what he said he wants to do. And I said, the second I have to come back into this business, I'm out. If that's at 500,000, 700,000, $1 million, and I got to walk back in here, we're scaling it all back. I don't want to work in here anymore. I don't even like working in the shop. I'm not a technician. I'm not a service advisor. I don't know what any of the cars are here for. I'm a business owner, and that's what I do. I own a business. And some people love working on cars, and God bless you guys. I admire what you do. I see Jeff doing it all the time on his shows. And I do.
He's
really,
not
really
right in the head.
that.
I'm telling you.
but
he loves to work on them cars.
I know he does. You guys are so passionate about it, but that's good. You know, and I admire that. You know, you guys love tweaking on cars. I love surfing. I love the ocean. You know, it's not for everybody, but that's what I do. You know, I didn't see Jeff, you know, jumping up and down saying he wants to go surf when it gets 40 feet out here. That's not his thing. But it is my thing, you know. So you got to do what you're passionate about, and money will allow you to do that. And running a well-oiled shop, just the fact that you guys are even on this right now, there's not very many people on here compared to how many shops there are. So it says that you want to get better, and you want, and maybe you do live the life I live. I don't know, but it's pretty damn good, man. I tell you, it's you
I
get
live
up to
real close to your lifestyle. My coach
that's
is
awesome.
sitting right there looking with his finger like that. He said, "Don't
Yeah.
talk, John." But he's the guy that done me like I'm doing for you. This guy's got me on that right path. I drank his Kool-Aid that he served, and I
That's
believe
awesome.
wholeheartedly in what you said earlier. Do what your coaches tell you to do, and you'll make money.
Yeah, I spend between my Google marketing and my coaching, I spend $60,000 a year, and people would tell me, "Man, you're crazy." But if you saw my bank account, you wouldn't think I'm crazy, because I do make an awful lot of. I make way more money now than I've ever made in my life. I never dreamt of bringing in so much money, and it's not all about money for me. I do take less money to have a lifestyle that I want to live. You know, I'm a 16-year-old kid that loves to play, you know, and I the second I realized I could do this and get out of here, I did that and got out of here. You know? But I do, don't get me wrong. I watch my numbers every single day. I check my numbers multiple times a day. I like, we can roll right into Tekmetric, you know. I showed Jeff how it works, and one of the guys in the Drive group, in fact, the same guy that sat next to me at the first meeting, I was talking to him one day, and I was griping about something, because I'll gripe when I want to gripe when I'm not happy about something. And he goes, "Man," he goes, "you need Tekmetric." And I said, "Why do I need Tekmetric?" He goes, "Because Mitchell's antiquated." I said, "Well, I don't even know what Mitchell does, because I haven't figured it all out yet, because I'm not a writer, and I don't want to leave something I don't fully understand what it does." And I go, "Why should I switch?" He said one word, which absolutely caught my ear: speed. We sell time. Speed means I can build more. Speed means I can make more. So I did the demo, I did everything, and I switched. And yes, the first week, 2 weeks was sheer hell. Switching software absolutely sucks. I haven't switched. I bought Ring Central because I want voice over IP so I can monitor phone stats and, you know, run the company better. I bought that 5 months ago. I still haven't installed it. My Ring Central rep emails me about every 3 days because I haven't installed. I'm terrified of that kind of big change, because what if the phones don't ring because they don't work, right? What if my software doesn't work so I can't bill? What if all these what ifs? You gotta erase that crap out of your head and just do it, because I guarantee
you need some more Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it's gonna fall out. You know, I've got shockwave lifts. I have great weather out here, but I have shockwave lifts. They run on trickle charge batteries. My power goes, it's gone out actually, which is really weird because it almost never goes out compared to where some of you guys probably live. But I can work for 2 weeks on my lifts without losing total battery power. So I can up and down all day long. We have no power. It doesn't really matter. We'll figure it out, you know. We can get Tekmetric on our phones. We can run a hotspot, and we can run our shop with no power here at all. So, you know, I'm all about constantly billing, constantly, you know, driving revenue. My technicians show up when they want. I don't have start and stop hours, but they know my top techs. I need 50 to 70 hours a week from you, week in and week out. If that takes you 30 hours to produce, get your butt here 30 hours. I don't care if you work in the middle of the night. It doesn't matter to me. They roll in at 9 o'clock. I've never said a word to them because these guys pump out hours, and I love it.
That's cool.
But one of the deals is on his text, when we talk about right there about, you know, he doesn't micromanage, because I walked around and they had their big screens, and one of them might have had YouTube on, one of them had music playing. They were looking up stuff, but over in the corner upstairs was this like apartment deal that you had built for your techs. And when we talk about taking care of the techs, number one is he pays them well, and number two is he doesn't micromanage, and he doesn't get on them as long as they're producing. But tell us about what you have in the corner. And then so many say, "Hey, let's buy them lunch on Fridays," and you kind of have a little bit different approach on that.
Yeah, so back in the corner, like Jeff was referring to, I have a really nice big break room up there that we built. And in the break room, there's a massage chair, a bed, a couch, a game console, a refrigerator, and all the drinks and whatever. I provide everything for them. And they go up there all the time to lunch. They're sitting in the massage chair. They're sitting, you know, I say, man, you're tired. Go lay down on the bed and take a nap. I don't care. I'm not going to scold you for it. That's what the bed is for, man. If you're not feeling well or whatever, just make yourself comfortable. I got a nice table up there where they could eat. And then for lunches, I will never, ever buy my staff lunch. I don't believe in buying lunch for the staff. I think it's in my opinion, it's a complete waste of money. What I do buy for them, though, is I will buy steak, lobster, crab legs, whatever you guys want, but you're going to cook it. You're going to have a barbecue. As a team, you're going to have a barbecue. And what that does is it builds camaraderie. I buy them beers about whatever you guys want. And anytime you want, if you guys want to do it once a week, twice a week, whatever, the refrigerator is complete. The freezer is completely stocked with shrimp, everything that they like. And the camaraderie I get out of that, it builds the culture of the shop to where I need it to be. You have got to have a good culture in your shop. If you've got a cancerous employee, you cannot afford not to fire them. I have 4 technicians that anybody would love to have. I have a master tech who's probably the best diagnostic guy on this island. I will never hire him again. He's a complete asshole. I can't have people like that in my shop. They're toxic and it doesn't build a good culture. So I had to let him go. I thought, I'm going to try hire him again. Maybe he's changed. No, now actually he's doing drugs. So it's like, okay, well, that didn't work, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we've all been through it, you know, we all feel the pain. I have the same problems you guys have, you know, exactly the same problems. But I'm quick to address things. I fired 30 people in 6 years, and I fired 30 in 4 years because I haven't had any turnover in a long time. You know, we run it pretty tight. Yeah,
so,
we there?
Yeah. So you guys have any questions for John? And like I said, tonight we're talking about coaching and about some of the systems that are out there. So you guys have any questions for John?
You got to remember when I started this mission, I knew I didn't even know if the shirt, like I'm wearing one of these shirts that a lot of you guys wear, this with this red hat. I didn't know if this shirt gets tucked in or you wear it out, because I came from like corporate America, and then even car sales. You know, we all had nice uniforms we wore. I didn't know how to roll up the door. So everything I've learned, I've just learned from people like you guys, you know, who have taught me.
That's so cool, John. That is.
Yeah, John's a big part of. He's on ASOG a lot, and he'll ask questions. And one of the deals being out on the island is he'll buy several months worth of supplies, or he might buy 6 months worth of wiper blades in order to drop the cost just a little. He's just in a it's a little bit different out there.
It's running a business is not intuitive. It's not something that, you know, you just go and do it wonderfully without a lot of people around you. You know, Bill Gates always said he wasn't the best, you know, a software engineer, but he was the best at surrounding himself with great people. And I truly believe that to be true. You've got to surround yourself with great people.
Amen.
That's great. John, we so much appreciate you sharing all that.
Yeah, thanks for having me.